Well, let's see how that's turning out. Haven't run a stream in a couple of weeks. Haven't run a stream on this setup, so I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I guess we'll find out in a minute when you tell me whether or not it's working. Let's have a quick look on the internet and see what's going on. Whew. I need to update the music. I've got brand new music that I need to start putting in my streams, and I haven't done it yet. We're going to get there, though. Looks like the sound is on. Some people in the chat already, which is exciting. Richard the First says, "Who's the Q&A with?" I mean, it can be with me. It can be with anybody else that's here on the stream. It's perfectly valid. But we figured we'd do it with me. Because we're celebrating a large number. This doesn't mean I'm going to answer a number of questions related to that number. But we can ask a bunch of questions. Lextro says, "What is happening here? We're here to have a little chill session. We're here to have a little celebration. Because we hit a milestone. And typically I wouldn't be that fussed, but I realised, you know what? Celebrate the little things. 10 million little things in this instance. But yeah, we're going to do it. Wanna Fight says, "Is anything possible if you put your mind into it?" Most things. Not everything. There are some things that regardless of how much you put your mind to it, you're probably not going to be able to do it. Like licking your elbow. Assuming that you're going to do it safely and you're going to do it without, you know, hurting yourself. Like you just can't get there. Doesn't matter how much you put your mind to it. Which is probably the end. I feel like this is the opposite. I feel like I should be this is like some kind of Matthew McConaughey, like feel good, like life guidance. And I feel like I'm going against what Mr. McConaughey would say in this particular situation. Let me adjust my headpiece. What can we ask? You can ask a lot of things. I think we just keep it civil and keep it clean. And other than that, you can ask whatever you like. And yeah. And if answering them is a separate thing entirely. But yeah, we'll get on to that. And but yes, come on in. Have a seat. Come and join us. I'm just having a look, making sure that my stream's not about to fall over. My stream is healthy. This is excellent. So says YouTube, which I think is a lie. But also, I'm going to multitask. As the name of the video implies, as the name of this stream implies. Let me just move a few things around on my end. Because it's also April 26th, which is denoted as Alien Day, because it's LV426. And that means I am going to try and play a little bit of Alien Isolation while also answering questions. That was the theory. That was the idea. Now you might think, hang on a minute. That's very corporate. It is very corporate. At the same time, it just seemed quite funny that we were celebrating just a couple of days ago. It's like, hey, look at that. We hit 10 million views on the channel. That's pretty awesome. Maybe we should do something to celebrate that. And then, oh, hey, tomorrow, I literally came up with this idea last night. It's, oh, hey, tomorrow is Alien Day. And it's kind of important to acknowledge that, like I said, channel's hit 10 million views, which is amazing. Thank you to all of you who have watched at least once. Some of you, I imagine, have watched more than once, and also I'm very grateful to that. And if you haven't, then there's lots of videos for you to go and watch. So, it's important to acknowledge that of the, I don't know, what, 10 million views, around 2.4 million of them are from 2 videos about this game. And so I thought, yeah, you know what, it's probably important that we then still keep this game in our hearts and close to us so that we can we can... Well, I figured it'd just be fun. Also, I haven't played this game in a very long time. Contrary to popular belief, I do not just have Alien Isolation sitting installed on my Steam or my Xbox at all times. I really don't. So, like, this morning, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do... Oh god, I need to install it. Damn it. So I had to go and, like, hunt it down. Chris Pachoinski says, mind blown indeed. 10 million. And most of it from playing this game. So I figured, yeah, let's get into this. And we'll start what have I even... What have I got here? Love it. Look at these mission saves. Look at how they're such a mess. You know why that is? The last time I played Alien Isolation proper, or with any real intent, or with any significant amount of time, was when I did episode 50 of AI in Games, and in that episode I modded the game. I didn't mod this version, I just installed it clean off Steam today. I didn't install OpenCage or anything like that. But one of the things I was reliant on when I did it was I was using a tool, a mod tool that would allow me to load into certain parts of the game. And it saved them into my cloud save. So as you can see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 14, 17. Yeah, because I really wanted to catch like the descent, which I'm pretty sure that's the trip down to the hive. Spoiler, towards the end of the game. 17 is the end, if I remember right as well. So anyway, tell you what, let's just start from the very beginning. I'm gonna... all the sort of save data will be overwritten. That's fine. I can deal with it. Alright. Let's just get straight in. 68 Rider says, is Alien coming to Dead by Daylight? That's the rumour that's been bouncing around for so long, and I would actually be quite... I don't know if it would work. So, I think it's actually worth saying I play a lot of Dead by Daylight. I haven't played as much this year. I actually have given myself I've put myself on a bit of a sabbatical and not playing a lot of Dead by Daylight right now. But I'm a big fan.
Final
I really enjoy that game.
Commercial starship Nostromo. Third officer reporting.
Let's see, what's the...
The other members of the crew.
Just checking my audio.
Kane, Lambert, Parker, Brett, Ash, and Captain Dallas are dead.
Let her talk. Let her say her piece.
Cargo and ship destroyed. I should reach the frontier in about 6 weeks.
Shout out to Andy. Shout out to John McKellen as well. I just saw a minute ago in the credits. John runs No Code, which is a game studio in Scotland. This is written by Dan Abnett. I didn't know that.
Signing off.
Or I'd never noticed that until now. Dan Abnett's written a whole bunch of stuff, but he used to write a lot of comic books I really liked. But yeah, like Dead by Daylight is a game I enjoy quite a bit. Ninja Blade says DVD's in a bad state, hold off for a bit. Well, I was actually playing it I was playing it at lunchtime. I've started to slowly get back in this season. Halfway through the current... We're halfway through the current season, I think, with the Hunter... No, what's the... The Skull Merchant, I think, is the current new killer. But I keep hearing rumours that Alien and Predator or the Terminator would come in. And they're kind of they're probably the most high-profile characters I can think of in movies that they haven't had a chance to put in yet. So I don't know. Part of me's like, part of me's like,
where?
Yeah, they should put the Alien in there. Also, part of me's like, I don't see how the Alien works.
What did it tell you?
But nah,
we don't know.
I would buy it. I'd buy all the DLCs anyway because I'm a schmuck.
It's
Wannafight says, you're so professional. That's a lie. How dare you?
Sevastopol's a supply depot in the region. It's a permanent free port facility.
I know what it is.
You don't trust this guy on the way in, do you? You're kind of like,
There's a courier ship called the Torrens heading out that way.
He's a little bit too formal for my tastes.
We're going to travel out.
We?
Me and another exec. If you're willing. Look, Ripley, when this job came across my desk, I read the case history.
I watched the first movie. Let's see. What else is happening in the chat?
Where she went missing.
Wannafight says, would you ever consider doing more technical videos?
Looking, aren't you?
Define technical. That's
Clear to offer you
an
a
open
place
question,
on the Torrens
I think, for
if
you.
want to
But
come
yeah,
along.
let me know what your what you're looking for there.
Maybe
I did discuss a little bit about doing tutorials and the like in the sort of 2023 new Journey Forward video, which is currently the pinned video. It's one of the pinned videos on the homepage, so you can have a look at that if you haven't already. Alright, here we go. Out of curiosity, how many people who are watching this right now have actually played this game? Because, spoiler alert, the alien doesn't turn up for a little while. We're going to actually have plenty of time to answer questions while I'm kicking about with no trousers on. Oh, there we go. Also, they do a really great job of setting up the atmosphere very early on, despite the fact nothing is going to happen. I can't even run at this point. The game just forces you to walk around everywhere. Ugh.
Taylor, good morning.
Ripley, it's certainly not good. I very much doubt it's morning either. Sorry. I feel like death. I don't know how you people put up with hypersleep regularly.
You get used to it.
I don't do long haul very often.
I should probably go and find my pants.
I'm
As
surprised
Americans
Wayland Yutani felt the
would
need to
rate
sound
it.
legal at all.
Chris says they played it to death. Well, that means you're going to show me up, because
it's
been a very long time since I played it. So,
I'm sorry. That was insensitive.
I am rusty. I've only actually played this game and finished it like a couple of times now that I think about it. Right, spoke to Taylor. Oh, my bunk room's back there, so I've completely bypassed my trousers. Simon, feels like this came out only a few years ago. You know, I had that moment of realization earlier on when I suddenly was like, oh my god, this game is actually 10 years old next year. And funnily enough, so is this YouTube channel. So, that's surprising. Oh, there we go. Put on my trousers. There we go, I've got shoes on now. That's good, not kicking about in my pants. I could just get in and... Blah, 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 blah. So professional. You know, these beds never looked comfortable. Both in the game and in the films. Like, none of this looked comfortable. Alright. So I should probably go and speak to Samuels. But yes, it's been... Yes, Simon, indeed, it's going to be an interesting 10th anniversary. So I've already got one thing that I've already got kind of planned that I'm kind of thinking about doing.
Did you wake up
I'm not
early?
telling you what it is yet.
I don't really need as much sleep as
But I do think
just
that
inspecting the Torrens facilities.
we probably need to do something about alien isolation somehow,
Realize it's a very similar
given it is
The Nostromo.
sort of an anniversary. It's an anniversary of the game and this channel, so... And given the relationship is kind of tied, I feel like we need to do something about it then.
Is Taylor up yet? She's not a
We'll see. We'll see.
Haven't seen her. I'll go check on her.
Hang on, I'd spoke to Taylor, but I was just in my pants, so it didn't count. That's interesting. Let's see. to come back to Wanafight's comment about writing and showing some code. That was mentioned in the 2023 reboot video. And in short,
He's probably been up for hours.
I didn't finish the conversation. Oi.
All personnel to the bridge, approaching Sevastopol Station.
Looks like we're up.
Oh, that's not the button. Oh, the bridge is behind me. Okay. Oi. This game still looks really good, I have to say. I think a big part of that was the particular art style. I mean, I am running it on a nice machine, so that's helping. But, hello! Hello! Am I just kicking it until Samuels turns up? Oh, there you are, mate. Good job.
Hope you all had a restful journey.
Alien Isolation 2 confirmed. I don't think so. I don't think I can... I haven't got any confirmation for you there. Although, to be fair, if they were actually working on it, I'd like to think that someone at the studio would tell me. And I do have friends over at Creative Assembly, so, you know, do give us a shout.
Let's get this done.
No, they're actually pretty good about it. They wouldn't do something like that because they're good that way. Corporate comms reach out to me and tell me, because I know you as well, so hit me up. Anyway, I did actually hear some stuff at GDC, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But it wasn't about Alien Isolation 2, so I'm not gonna... Alright, calm down. Excuse me. Where do I sit? Yeah, oh, no, I don't think I'm round here. Have I not got a big glowy chair somewhere? Oh, there it is. I missed the briefing. Okay. Cutscene time. Great.
Can we see it?
I'll turn this down a little bit for now. But yeah, so
Sevastopol Station.
regards writing code. At the moment, the channels need to be more successful in order for me to justify doing it. Because frankly, the time taken for me to make my videos is often long enough as it is, that
I can't bring the Torns into that.
the channel would need to reach a point where it's more financially sustainable for me to do it. Because, as discussed in the video, like, the bulk of my revenue, the bulk of the money I make to pay my bills and everything else actually comes from consultancy and working in the industry, rather than actually making videos. And so the more money I make there, that frees up time for me to make videos. But it doesn't mean I have an infinite amount of time to make videos. The alternative to that is if I was going to do it, I'd have to get it crowdfunded or kickstarted or something, because I would need to essentially get enough funding to come in. I have so I could not only do it, but I could also hire people in to help me with parts of the production. I went away last summer and spec'd up essentially a 200 hours worth of video content, essentially teaching AI for video games. But it's trying to find the time to then do that. And frankly, YouTube is not a space within which I am going to waste... To make 200 hours of content will take me 600 hours. Probably. I would probably say more than that. Like, the average 20-minute video takes me a week to make. So it's like... I am not doing that and then waiting for the money to turn up afterwards, which is exactly what Coursera would do. So Coursera's even came forward and like, hey, do you want to pitch something to us? And I was like, where's the money up front? And they were like, oh no, you make stuff and then you make money afterwards. It's like, oh no, fuck you. I am not doing that because I have a limited amount of time, so I have a whole bunch of plans for what I could do, and I am speccing up some stuff on the side, but right now, no confirmation as to when any of that would ever materialise. Liam in Wales, I'm going to assume you're actually in Wales and that isn't a lie, said, I wish Creative Assembly made more games like this. It's shocking how good the game is, and they make real-time strategy games. Like, yeah, like, it was very much a passion project. I remember going back a few years now. I remember when Alien Isolation. I need to turn down that. I thought controlling the volume of the app over here was going to keep it quiet, but that's not enough, clearly. I remember when this game was being made, or when they started making it, because this game took a while to make. And I remember them advertising for people to come and work at the studio, because Sega had the license to Alien, and they were working on this, and they were working on Colonial Marines. And so you see it nowadays, where it was like, I think it was literally last week Crytek came out and were like, we're making a new Crisis, we need staff. And this is a kind of a common thing right now to deal with a lot of the drought of technical skill in the industry, and also just to find the right talent, is now they're openly acknowledging they're making a game before they're even making it, just to get people in the door. Like, this game's in pre-production, like, oh, we're making the next we're making a remake of Dead Space, we're making this, we're making that, like, come and work for our studio. So I remember when they were advertising, I was still doing my PhD at the time. I was finishing up grad school, so this is going back a few years now. But I remember them openly saying, we are working on this new Alien project at Creative Assembly, which I thought was pretty neat. So yeah, man. But it was a passion project, and subsequently, I think, critically, a lot of the staff came and went afterwards. Like, actually, technically, in terms of production, the same team that made Alien Isolation, technically, in terms of the way that the studio was structured, they're the same team that made Halo Wars 2. But then a whole bunch of people left because they were finished with Alien, they didn't want to do anything else. And also subsequently when they did Halo, like a bunch of people who would maybe had worked at 343 or whatever came over. So technically it's the same team, but who was in that team was drastically different between those two projects. And also, Halo Wars 2 is a great game. Absolutely worth playing if you haven't played it already. Creative Assembly are a very interesting studio. I think they do a lot of really cool stuff. They've got this shooter coming up at the moment that I can't remember the name of for the life of me, but I'm interested to see what it seems so different from everything else they do, so I'm kind of intrigued by it. Man, that still looks great. I just saw Alan Zacconi popped into the chat there. Hey Alan, hope you're doing well, sir. We haven't seen each other. I was going to say we haven't seen each other in a long time. You and I haven't been in the same room in person in like years, but we tend to see each other online. So yeah, that's quite funny. Oops, I missed it. Simon says, agreed, it's just so polished, and there does seem to have been a shift to survival horror games rather than the usual run and gun games. How this game didn't sell an outrageous amount is beyond me. It's interesting how the game just did not capture the imaginations at the time, I think. Let's move that around. I'm gonna turn that down on my, because I'm having trouble hearing my own voice a little bit over the mix, but there we go. Let me know if that still sounds okay to you. Yeah, I think it was just too high profile a game at a time when people weren't quite ready for... It's funny how horror games are so much more in vogue these days. I mean, but then I think it's a particular type of horror as well. So like literally I'm finishing the Dead Space remake on the side of this, and I'm finishing the Dead Space remake so I can go and play the Resident Evil 4 remake. And then even with Callisto Protocol a couple of months ago, was, you know, like, regardless of quality aside, I haven't actually played that game yet. I got it. I picked it up really cheaply recently. Right, yep. I've done it. Oh, press R to activate. There we go. Also, playing this game on a much bigger monitor than the last time, so I'm kind of it's kind of a bit in my face a little bit here. It's not a big monitor, it's just it's what, a 27 inch, I think this is? I bought it not that long ago. I needed some new monitors. Alright. Can hear beeping. Never mind. I forget. Where am I supposed to go? There we go. Alan says, hopefully one day we'll manage to be in the same room at the same time. Yes, hopefully so. I'd like us to correct that oversight on our part. That one day we will both be in the same space. You always know, Working Joe. Anything down here to collect? Or nope. Fine. No, never mind. Okay. I swear this is the longest flare in the history of anything. Chris says, general question, how much do you think your channel or your work life has changed in those 10 years that we're talking about, as we're approaching this 10-year... So, I mean, I think, funnily enough, tonight, we're here to celebrate that, holy bajingus, this channel somehow made... has somehow had over 10 million views.
Hello?
And...
Anyone here?
Don't worry, the alien doesn't turn up yet if you haven't played it. And I think it's interesting to acknowledge how critically the alien, the first alien video, which is technically episode 15 of the channel, is kind of important because it helped me define where this channel was going. One of the things I talk about quite a bit when I give talks or whatever else, because a lot of people ask me, you know, about, oh yeah, you do this YouTube thing and like, oh hey, it's done okay, and you know, it's done reasonably okay, it's modestly successful, you have an audience, you're all here, which is great, thank you. He looks left and right just in case, looking for audience members while he's saving. Alright, well, I don't want to go in there just yet, because there's something... Oh no, I can't do this yet, can I? Because I need the... Oh, I need the passcode, but the passcode was somewhere else, and I can't remember how to get out. Exit. I think the passcode was mentioned over there. On the computer terminal, so I'll need to go back and find it. But yeah, where was I? So... when I started doing this, there was no intention for it to run as long as it has done, or get as many views as it has done. And I say this, like I say, I still fully acknowledge I'm a modestly successful YouTuber, in the sense that, like, you know, you compare my work to, and it's nice because sometimes people refer to my channel in the context of things like Game Maker's Toolkit or NoClip. I'm not as popular as those. Those channels, which is fine. Like, I kind of acknowledge what I do is very particular. 0340. There we go. So when I started out, I didn't really know what I was doing, other than it was meant to be an extracurricular material for my students who I was teaching at the time. And so subsequently, I was making stuff exclusively for them. And that was the whole onus of it. Can I? No, I don't have a sensor. Scrap. There's lots of stuff lying about, but there isn't the thing I need in order to make the item. So it's like, hey, make this. I feel like this is a tutorial that hasn't quite worked. Anyway. So yeah, I was making videos for the students, and then I started trying to expand out a little bit, and I will concede, like, two things. One, I didn't have the focus of exactly what this channel was going to be, and that took time to figure out. But also, as somebody who was quite generally new to YouTube and everything else as a whole, like, I didn't make content before on YouTube, I didn't really know what I was doing, I had never made a video before. But then I was also trying to do stuff like Let's Plays and things like that, because I thought, oh, that's what people watch. And then subsequently, like, down the line, realizing, no, that the sauce, as it were, of what I should be doing is focusing on educational material delivered at a fairly high level of quality that's meant to be accessible. And it was actually, well, wasn't necessarily Alien that taught me that. It was actually a couple other videos before it that got modestly popular. And I was seeing comments from people who were like, oh wow, I don't know anything about this stuff, but this video is super interesting and I'm excited to learn more. But I think, because I was writing it for my students, and so when I started doing this, you know, my audience was like 10, like, was my class of my game AI students, which was literally about 40 people. I think 40 is even generous. So that was when, like I say, it was really for them, and it was meant to just give them something extra to tie into what I was teaching in class, because I didn't really have time to explain how the AI of fear worked, because I'm just trying to explain the tech. Like, here's what planning is, and here's how planning can be used in games, and then, hey, I've made an entire video that's 20 minutes long that explains how it's used in this very specific game. It's like extracurricular material, go and check it out. And the students watched it, and they were like, oh yeah, these are, you know, I got some feedback, and like some of this, like, yeah, it's good, some of it, yeah, and which was useful. But it wasn't until really that the internet started watching it. And like I say, I didn't set out with the intention of finding an audience. I set out to teach my students. And eventually, what started happening was an audience yourselves started to emerge, because YouTube was sharing my stuff. And critically, the Alien, I think the first Alien video is very important in that regard, because it was the video that blew up. Actually, it wasn't the first video that blew up. The video that actually blew up was, I did episode 3 on the Mario AI competition, or is it 4? 3 or 4 on the Mario AI competition was quite popular. That video's got over 100,000 views or something, which it's not a great video either in hindsight. But it was kind of exposing people to this reality. This is a very long answer to your question, but I'm getting there, because it kind of ties into, I noticed Alan has asked a question as well about, you know, when it comes to your channels, anything you'd have done differently. Like, I think at the start, figuring out what my goal was and then leaning more towards it, I think would have been good. Because I spent a lot, like I say, like, it took me a little while to figure out really what I was aiming for. And I'd never made videos before, so I also didn't know what I was doing. So I didn't really know whether there was an appetite to go in the route where the channel is now, because, you know, now I'm able to do stuff like, hey, let's go into some code and show you how this, like, hey, let's look at the code of this game. Or, hey, this is an interesting design discussion around this game. So, like, the recent video that I did last week on Halo Infinite, which I think was an interesting discussion of, like, hey, here's how they've adopted AI for the purposes of this game, and, like, here's how they reevaluated how to design it. I thought that was quite an interesting story. I'm working on a video right now about EA's testing systems and how all these games they're now making all run on AI testing. Like, so many of them. Pretty much every major title that EA has launched in the last 5 years has had huge amounts of AI testing thrown at it to make their life easier. And it's now this kind of shared tool chain that exists across the entirety of Electronic Arts, across different studios, and then how they had to build that tool chain out. Like, I think that's very interesting. But I also like to just do informational stuff and just explain things. So yes, critically, I think the channel's changed a lot as the focus has changed a lot, and my understanding of what I'm trying to do has changed a lot. Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, if you can watch a video and come at the end of it and go, I learned something new, or something modestly interesting, then that's mission accomplished as far as I'm concerned. I'd like for it to get a lot of views. Not all of them do. Most of them don't, but that's fine. I've kind of made peace with that. And that was something that I had to, I think, funnily enough, something Alan says there, but what would I have done differently? Try not to chase the numbers. I went through a little unhealthy phase, I would say, a few years ago of trying to chase the numbers. Because you're trying to... Because I had a couple of stints where the videos are really successful. Like, you might not have noticed it, but actually the videos are not doing great the last year or so. The most high-profile video I think I've done in the past year, in terms of views, actually in the last year, well, prior to... There was Townscaper, but actually since then, it's been over a year old now. It's probably the one they did on Doom, the original Doom, and that's only had about 70,000 views or something. So I did go through a little phase where I was somewhat unhealthily trying to chase the numbers. And I think one of the things that made me stop doing it was I realized that in order to do chasing numbers and getting lots of numbers from my views in conjunction with doing the thing that I like to do, which is this more methodical approach to my content, which it's not as pervasive, it's not going to be as broadly appealing as a lot of other you know, I mentioned Mark Brown's Game Maker's Toolkit, I think, for example. Like, Mark does great work, but and I have no, you know, I have a lot of respect for what he does, and I think he does a very good job of it. I think the work he does versus the work that I do, I don't think my stuff is as broadly appealing. So, like, for example, I haven't watched it yet, but Mark just did a video on, like, how Capcom is currently the best when it comes to remakes, and it's sort of, that's a subject area that I think he's good at tackling, but also it's a subject area that is more immediately accessible. It kind of plays into confirmation bias a little bit, where it's like, oh yeah, because everyone goes, oh yeah, the Resident Evil remakes have been great and all this sort of stuff, and so yeah, they're the king of remakes, and that's why everyone is wants to watch that video. My stuff doesn't tend to be like that. It really... So the Alien videos are a great example of it, because the Alien video capitalized on a sentiment that, holy crap, this game is amazing, or holy crap, this game is terrifying. That alien, I don't understand what it's doing, but it's scaring the living shit out of me. How does it work? And that's what made these videos work, because I capitalized on that, but I didn't intentionally do it. Well, actually, I did somewhat. Like, I tapped into that in a way that a lot of the other videos I do, like, so for example, like the recent video on Halo, like, why are the Halo Infinite bots so smart? That's not really going to capture people's imagination. And then every now and then, a video does come along that does capture people's imagination, which really catches me by surprise. Townscaper. That was my most successful video last year by a country mile. Really took me by surprise. Townscaper's a great game. I didn't expect it to have that kind of reach. I think to answer Alan's question, I would have tried to lock in my identity of where this thing is going earlier. But, of course, hindsight is 2020. I wouldn't have been able to figure it out until I'd done it. That's kind of a critical part of all this. So, let's just open that. Because I did tutorials for a while, and then I threw them out. I did Let's Plays for a while, and then I threw them out. And then it wasn't until later on. It's just, I am just a video essay guy, and I'm okay with that. Of course, I could be more than that down the line. We could be doing, you know, tutorials and the like in another format. And, like, funnily enough, one of the reasons that AI in Games Plus exists, the new second channel, which, subscribe if you haven't already, was I wanted to have space to do a podcast. And I wanted to have space to do dumb things. I wanted to have a bit more fun. And also be able to... one of the things I wanted to be able to do was to express my opinion a little bit more. One of the things you'll have acknowledged if you've been around for a long time watching the videos is I very rarely express my opinion. If you go back to the earliest videos, you never see my face. I was very conscious of, at the start of all this, decoupling myself from the topic and the content, because I didn't want people to think, particularly actually, because a lot of the videos I do is about research, right? And now, actually, and at the time, I knew a lot of the researchers whose work I was going to cover in the videos. Funnily enough, I now know a lot of the developers whose work I'm going to cover in the videos. And so, let's see, let's just... and then click here. There we go. Can I make another one? Great. Let's make a couple. And so that was, funnily enough, one of the reasons that I avoided exerting my opinion. I avoided showing much of myself, which in hindsight is part of this creator economy, as it were. Like, that was a bit silly. And so it's now I'm like, no, well, I need to acknowledge the fact that I am more part of this space, that I am someone that people are interested in, or at least I can express an opinion, but I want to find a way to do it my own way. And so that's why AI in Games Plus exists. I'm working on a very big rant right now about generative AI in games and the problems with it. Oh, here's Axel. People mention in the comments, I sound like him.
Off station. A ship.
There's no ships here.
There are now.
Well, that's good news, because things are not so good here. Something blue just now. Rocked this whole place.
We don't sound remotely alike.
But lady, that's the least of our problems.
Yeah?
Yeah. Something's on the station.
Alright, Axel, you've had your moment. I just thought we'd make sure we give him a wee shout out, because everybody's... all these people in the comments going, Axel's explaining the AI of games. I'm like, oh, God.
Okay.
To come back to Chris's question from ages ago, so many people have wrote in, I need to catch up with the feed, I'm sorry.
EVA.
The thing that has changed in my work life is that this is now my bread and butter. So I've quit being an academic. I stopped being a lecturer 7 months ago.
Why? What's in it for me?
Because
Placed on the ship.
now I spend a lot of my time working with game studios. I do a variety of different things, or I do work in kind of copy and marketing for AI, because people understand that, hey, like, this guy's got a skill set that can be used in this particular field. I do consultancy for studios, big and small. I literally did 2 consultancy meetings with some indies this week. Can't tell you anything about it, but they were both working on some very interesting stuff, and I wish them all the best. Hopefully we'll have an excuse to work together again down the line. But I think to say that the YouTube channel has had an impact on where my life has gone has been quite... is an understatement. Because I had a particular career path I was going on years ago, and that career path is now gone, and I'm now doing something very different. But I'm still happy and I'm still enjoying it, and that's great. That'll probably be something we'll reflect on more at the 10-year anniversary next year, because it is going to be a case of, like, I was a year or two into being a lecturer, which a lecturer by British standards, which for Americans that's assistant professor. I'd be tenure track professor in the US, and now I'm completely out of that space. I work with a variety of different companies, and I'm currently waiting to hear, but we're working with some other companies off the back of going to GDC last month. So very different. My life is very different now, in that critically I do a lot of work, but also, like, in the industry now, but also the YouTube channel is part of how I survive, because people continue to know who I am and want to reach out to work with me because of the YouTube channel. The amount of times where, and I can't get into specific, my first big consultancy gig was with a very big company who literally had never heard of me until they saw me on YouTube. And then they found me on LinkedIn afterwards, like, hey, you've got a PhD and a background in AI for games, we just found you on YouTube. And it's like, okay, you hyperventilate slightly. Like, it helps highlight just how important the YouTube channel is to everything I do now. Anyway, Simon says, small aside, how many years would you need to pass before this deserved its own remake, considering that what all the studios are into these days, it still holds up? I don't even know. It's still quite playable. Like, I think both Resident Evil and Dead Space didn't age particularly... Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space didn't age particularly well. And so I think them being remade makes sense. Like, I replayed Resident Evil 4 like during the pandemic, during lockdown, and it's like, oh yeah, now I see why they're remaking this. This game has not aged well at all. It's horrible to control. It's still fun to play, but it's so dated in a lot of its form factor. Dead Space was also interestingly jank, and I think like I'm playing the Dead Space remake right now, and I am loving it. It feels great. I think that's critically the key part of that remake. It feels good. I don't feel right now like there's anything about this game other than probably they could shave. I don't know.
We need to move. This way. Get
Nope.
down.
This is bullshit, man. We should be looking for a way off.
Wait, hang on. Move the control and what keys?
At least we're safe down here. For how long?
Oh, right. Hold control and then... Right.
Then we shoot the crap out of them. Now shut up. You're making me nervous.
That's a horrible control setup. Yes, indeed, Chris. You got some mileage out of that question. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. I'll keep playing. I'll keep answering the questions. I think this game needs a few years before someone should try and remake it. Because actually, right now, there's nothing... This still feels great to play. It still looks great. It's still interesting. I think what will be interesting to see is how horror games change. And subsequently, does that mean that we look back on this not so fondly? Like, to me, the biggest issue with Alien Isolation is its pacing. It's too damn long. This game is way too long, and they could probably shave about a third of it off. I think, interestingly, it's reflective of a particular period of AAA games where... And, well, I suppose this isn't really something that's gone away yet, that a AAA game needs to be a certain length in order to, you know, retain its value. Suddenly having to play The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 over the last few months is a kind of a stark reminder of that particular issue. Last of Us Part 2 is far too damn long. But interestingly, the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes are quite short. You can beat them in like... I'm pretty sure there's an achievement in one of them for beating it in under 4 hours or something.
Waiting for you, I guess. It can get pretty dark around here. You should take that flashlight over there.
Oh, finally, get the flashlight. There we go.
Make sure you're stocked up on batteries.
It's like an Xbox headset.
Just be careful not to flash it
Let's
around.
see.
You don't want to get caught.
Absolutely love all your videos, says Daniel Hartshon. Thank you very much. So interesting, and I've learned so much from them. Thank you. Well, thank you as well. Simon says, video content that always interests me is what happens when you do this with the AI type of video. People who poke sticks at the code to see what is and isn't possible and how it all works. I think that's also why returning to Alien the way that I did worked. Because when I returned to Alien, it was... I'm going to crack it open and tell you how it works and all the little interesting things that exist within it. I think that's why returning... Because critically, I remember when I was contemplating what do I do for the 50th episode.
What now?
And it was, do I go back to Alien Isolation? And the big question in my mind was, well, if I'm going to go back to Alien Isolation, I need to have a good reason to do it.
How about you look around? We're not going anywhere until you find that vent.
There we go. I was going to say, I collected the batteries. More batteries.
Axel,
No.
is this it?
Hold on. I'm coming.
Come on, Axel. You need to die. Spoiler alert.
I knew it was here somewhere. See? Got it covered.
So yeah, people that poke at sticks, I figured that was the, to me, that was the trick with coming back to Alien, was if we're going to do it, we have to explain more of how it works, and also like stuff that I learned afterwards. And full credit to Matt Filer, who make the Open Cage mod. He and I had a lot of good conversations surrounding
It's not smart to stay here
the
too
make
long.
around that project. We spent quite a bit of time chatting with each other and him giving me advice. And so full credit to him. Were it not for him, I wouldn't have been able to make it, that video. So hang on, let's just heal up. There we go. I do have, funnily enough, like, there's a question, was it about what is it, how does it actually work in prodding the code? There's a bunch of videos I've got where I'm just like, I want to do more of prodding how it works and being able to play around with it. And we might do some stuff looking at mods for games and stuff. And something I'm thinking about doing on AI and Games Plus is like, oh, let's have a look at like popular mods for games and talk about how does that change the game in a fun way. I think that'd be an interesting thing to do. Just trying to find time and everything, because I've been quite busy working for a couple of different companies of late, and that's taken up quite a bit of time. But at the same time, I've got a healthy backlog of videos to work my way through. I've also got a couple of very high profile. I've got the code to some of this game and I'm going to explain how it works, sort of thing. So I'm hoping we can do those, because one of them is a doozy. It's just been a lot of work to try and turn it into something that I think is interesting. Atreus Ninja, hello sir, / madam, / whatever appropriate pronouns should we be using. Really love your Dark Souls 2 video. Thank you. That was a video that I took a long time to come to, and funnily enough, I am hoping that this year we will finally do the design dive on Bloodborne. It is in some stage of development. I've been playing that game and I find it very interesting for a whole host of different reasons. Also, you can tell I've played this game before. I'm not even paying attention to them, I'm just going where I know I need to go, which is round here. Nope.
It just turned itself off? No. Somebody's here.
Okay. Trent Sterling says, your channel is an absolute gem. So many games, so many systems. I've gone from simple state machines to GOP to action planning, and just an absolute fan of your delivery. Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that the stuff is useful.
Who's there?
That's...
Come out and we won't hurt you.
Doesn't seem to be broken.
Uh-oh.
How would you know, Einstein?
Run.
Let's keep it down. They're still close by.
But no, always happy to hear. It's one of the most edifying things over the years is hearing from people who are like, oh yeah, like I was interested in getting into games, or I was just starting out or something, and now I'm in the industry and I'm doing X, Y, Z. And I get to meet people who is like, oh yeah, this is literally, you know, I'm now working in games, and like watching my old stuff was like an inspiration for them to get there and stuff. I think that's super exciting.
How much further?
It's very humbling. But no, glad to hear the videos were of use to you.
Sevastopol, not quite what you're expecting,
Let's see. Retro Rabbit says, I watched your friends and you play a game on live stream that I've no interest in playing, Left 4 Dead or something. Don't know, not my kind of game, but I watched the whole stream. It was fun to watch. Cool. I should try and get my friends in. So funnily enough, we're doing the new podcast over on AI and Games Plus, Branching Factor, which you can also listen to on any major podcast provider. But one of the funny things is we're just having trouble scheduling everything, because we're such busy people individually. Trying to get us all together, or even a couple of us together to do a podcast episode, is often a bit crazy. Nope. No!
Behind you.
I need to go and save Axel. Notice how we've been playing for like, this stream's been going for like an hour almost, and still no alien yet. But don't worry. Uh-oh. Mate.
Fuck. Let's go. The others are on their way. We need to go now. Hey,
Uh-oh.
you bastard! Move it!
Shoot him! Shit, I think he's dead. They killed him.
Alright, here we go. So,
You killed that guy.
yeah, I think I should get more of my friends in to do stream stuff. Funnily enough, I've noticed that like trying to do streams, I'm beginning to wonder whether doing them on Twitch is actually worth my while, because I've been doing a lot of streaming on Twitch, but the numbers are never actually that great. And then I come onto here, and already like the streams had way better numbers throughout than any time that we do anything on Twitch. And so I am wondering, with things like player choice and everything else, we move that onto, maybe it's on AI and Games Plus rather than here, Sorry, Axel. Time for you to die, buddy. Also, he gets shoved in a very small hole. Don't clip that. Also, I love this because the game deliberately, like, makes you freak out at this segment. You can tell I played too much of this. Because you hear the alien screeching a lot. So, and I can hear it right now. And funnily enough, it never actually comes out. Or at least not to my knowledge, it never actually comes out. But I remember the first time I played this, I was like, you know, open the fucking door! Open the fucking door! Because you're properly freaking out, because you're waiting for that thing to come back out the hole. But it doesn't. But yeah, more streaming. We should maybe do... Well, we've got Player Choice is going to come back next week, I think. We're going to get back to voting on the best first-person shooter AI. So tune in for that. We're down to the last 16. And I think that's going to be really interesting. Daniel says, I can't stay longer. Looking forward to watching back later. Love your work. Thank you very much, Daniel. I hope you have a good day. All the best. Open the fucking door! Thank you. There we go. Okay. Andre says, I've seen quite a few of my favourite channels fall into the trap of chasing views and losing sight of what made them great. I think a lot of us do, and I've spoken to other content creators who've had the same thing, because you're bit by the bug. You know, it's exciting when you see people watching your stuff, and you think, oh man, that's great, that's so cool. And I'm fortunate in that I've got a video that's got over... The first Alien video has like 1.5 million views or something. The second video, I think, is 850,000 or something like that. It's on its way to 1 million. And so, you know, you feel quite... Then you're like, oh, can I recapture that? And I think it took me a little while to realise that, no, the Alien videos are very unique in their own right. And there's a reason that those videos are so successful compared to all the other ones. Which, you know, it's still great. I have a lot of videos that have had over 250,000 or like 100,000 views or something. And so now it's just, no, stick to what I'm doing. This is also critically why I would never do this full time, because there's a mental health burden on it. Because if you're trying to chase those numbers, you're also thinking like, why is this video not getting the same numbers as the other one? And it's down to a recommendation system. It's down to a shitty AI that's built in YouTube's ecosystem. Uh-oh.
Shit. Guys, over here. Someone's here.
Alright, I need a boogie. Whew. So yeah, I think that's a big issue that a lot of creators face, is that you just try to see if you can recapture it, and then it's like, oh no, actually you can't. And I think if you're trying to do this on a daily basis and you can't guarantee, I think critically for myself, like my videos, the success of my videos is heavily dependent on the subject matter. So it's going to be almost impossible for me to have a bunch of videos that are as successful as the Alien one. I don't think they've came back yet. No, they're not back yet. There's a bunch of humans that turned up. That door still looks locked. Oh, because I haven't picked up the thing from down there. Damn it. Alan says, you say townscaper, I say a periodic, infinite, deterministic, irregular, relaxed, quadrilateral grid. I mean, you know, they're totally interchangeable terms. 2008, David Kang. Please don't tell me that's when you were born. Have you taken a look at Exanima, arguably the most technically impressive, fully physics-based RPG with simulated muscles instead of just animations, among other things? I have never heard of it. I am going to add it to my... I'm going to write it down on my notepad right now. Or later. Alright.
This way. She was downstairs.
Plunger. I huff paint and my mum kicked me out of the house because she found out. I mean, you know, everybody's got a hobby, right? I think just critically, you got to learn about moderation. If you're gonna huff paint, maybe get your own place so your mum can't give you shit for it. I think that's important. Come on, buddy. Woo. I might just have to clock him. Damn it! Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean it. Running away.
I think she went downstairs. Come on.
I'm not going down there. No way.
She's got your hack tool.
I'm not going down there.
We'll find another way.
Hello. Don't worry. Doesn't come and get me just yet. Get the map. Get the most useless item in the game. The gun. But yeah, I think critically for yourself, Plunger, just find a way to consume your hobbies in a safe and friendly manner, and if your parents just don't accept you for who you are, then abandon them. Let's see. Matt says, does anyone on RTSAI? Your videos are a nice inspiration and jumping off point. Fantastic. Best of luck. That's a lot of rumbling. This is me going through the motions. Actually, that's me trying to figure out what the next episode's about. David Thomas, have you ever investigated an AI of a game that impressed you, but once you saw what's under the hood, you were either surprised or disappointed? I don't think I've ever been disappointed. I think there's been a few situations where, like, you play something and I go, oh, that's nowhere near as... And I think that's one of the things I've enjoyed about doing what I do, is kind of helping point out that, like, a lot of the time, what we think is super intelligent AI is often not the case. What am I? Search tech support for a new data cell. I was going to say, I thought I was supposed to go that way. Oh, it's that way? No, it must be that way. Oh, do I need to activate a terminal in order to open the door? No, because it has low power. Did I just... Oh, I just didn't use the key card because I'm an idiot. This man has a PhD. Anyway. Collect ID tag, because I'm just all about the achievements. Tarkus, with regards to my streaming on Twitch, YouTube is the way to go if you've got a following on this platform, and you do. So, well, when you put it like that, it sounds so freaking obvious. I mean, yes. Oh yeah, this guy's had a bit of a tough time.
Oh, God.
You hear the alien when you search his body. It's cute, that. Oh, and then I learned a flashbang. Can I build one? I can build one. You know, I never really used these that well. No, I can't use the device there for that. David Thomas says, also Branching Factor, it's an amazing podcast that I didn't know I needed in my life. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Episode 5 will be out in a couple of weeks' time. We recorded it just before GDC. We're trying to get away from having it refer to what's happening at the current point in time, although we did actually talk about what's happening in the news at that point. But episode 5 was quite important. It's the first time that myself, Mike, George, Kwang, and Anne are all in the same episode together.
What?
And it's great because we kind of feedback on previous episodes, but also you just get to see. And this is one of the reasons I invited these people to be part of this podcast, was I finally got to have all of them in the same space, and you realize how they're all very interesting, intelligent people in their own regard, but they're also super fun to be around. I haven't seen Actually, I saw George in person just a few weeks ago. We're talking about doing a Mario movie episode pretty soon. Once we've all went to see the Mario movie, we can all have a good chat about it. Like a big spoiler episode or whatever. Right, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, so they locked me out. But then I need to get over there, I think. CDG says, I can see your video show up in my YouTube sub feed. I don't use Twitch much. Clearly then, fine. We're just going to start streaming everything here or on AI and Games Plus. Because funnily enough, I've noticed that when I do videos that... So funnily enough, talking about understanding what the audience wants, there's a lot of you, and so it's very difficult to determine what anybody's actually really interested in. So how do you... Oh my god, you do this with a mouse? Oh... Forgotten how you do this. I forgot how you do this on the PC. All right. There we go. Fantastic. Another ID tag. Get me some stuff. Play a thing. Great.
There's nothing on this flight recorder waits. We've broken God knows how many corporate confidentiality agreements and come up with zip.
Alright, let's just, for the sake of completeness, quickly save, because we're about to get a bit of xenomorph all up in us. Let's see. Oh, so Nalnaf says, I died. Did you die back at the bit where you're waiting for the tram? So the alien does turn up there. I've never stuck around long enough to find out because I'm a giant wuss. I'll be interested. Cool. Right. And hello. Got a bit of scotch to keep me going. Bit of liquid courage. There's one clip of one video game I've seen more than any other over the years making this channel. It's this clip. That animation is still gorgeous. I still love it. Alright. Matt says, I'm a game dev who does programming. We took heavy inspiration from the Halo Wars 2 AI for our RTS. That's amazing. Oh, Chris has also confirmed, and Simon has confirmed, that it will come out on higher difficulties. This is clearly my fault for not playing enough of this game on higher difficulties. See, you guys teach me something as well. It's a mutual relationship, you know? But yes, Matt, good luck with the game. Be very interested to see how that comes along. Also, I do build reviews for clients, so by all means, feel free to throw something my way if you want me to have a look at it and give you some feedback. Let's see. Richard Greenwood says, what's the scariest AI? Alien isolation or the YouTube algorithm? The YouTube algorithm, because at least with alien isolation I can somewhat predict it. Oh, and the Alien Isolation AI doesn't have a preference for right-wing blowhards? Oh. Ouchie, you're very dead. Oh, crap. Nope, it's going up in the vent. Let's move quickly. Make sure it doesn't come back. Oh, perfect. Open the damn door! Alrighty. To Seegson Communications. I think I've been, it's only taken me, what, about an hour and change. I think the first time I played this game, it took me about 4 hours to get to this point. Let's see. Desperately waiting for a video in the AI of Rain World, says Alan. It's on the to-do list. It's finally on the to-do list because, yeah, it was a game that I wasn't.
My name's Ripley, Amanda Ripley.
I kept seeing people bringing it up, and I didn't really know what it was. And then it was like, all right, okay. And then I bought it. I haven't played it yet. We'll get to it. Seth says, can you make a video on ChatGPT agents? In actual commercial games, it'd be a very short video. There's also a paper with a simulated town where agents throw a party and organise it on their own. 2-minute papers recently covered it. Yeah, I saw that. I read the paper. I'm probably going to be doing something on ChatGPT and GPT in general on AI 101 pretty soon in terms of like, what does this how does this technology work and how do you make it viable for games? Because it's not as clear cut as a lot of people would think. But yeah, I think that's probably something that's on the to-do list. Now Naf says, have you ever seen any AI in a fighting game, Street Fighter, etc., that you think would be worth talking about? I did do an episode way back, I want to say it's episode 17, is about the 2013 reboot of Killer Instinct, and how the shadow mode was done using case-based reasoning. The actual AI of fighting games is one, it's a bucket list item for me. I'd love to do one on a fighting game. I just need to get access to a fighting game to allow me to do it.
No problem.
There is one that I've been slowly figuring out, which we might get to do. This reminds me, I need to reach out to a person. I'm going to put that down in my notes. I found someone online who'd been decompiling old fighting game AI, and I'm really interested in having a chat with them to see if they can help me make a video out of it. I need to come back to that.
If you get this, I'm making my way to Seegson Communications.
Override the door mechanism. Thank you very much.
Because I knew you'd try and stop me. Please understand this is our best shot. Someone's got to reestablish.
Also love how the field of view is so narrow. I'm almost at the bottom of the chat. This is good. So you're going to have to start asking me more questions pretty soon. Liam in Wales says, just hit me the library puzzle from earlier. May be hard for young people who never used a library. Hurts to know my age and I'm not old. So I have a Discord group of friends that I chat with, and one of our group said today, somewhat in a panic, that somebody they have, I think it's an intern working at their studio right now, was born after the first iPod came out, which was 2001 for anyone counting, and we were all just like, oh my god, that's just horrible, what do you mean? Like the idea that someone could be that young. I mean, I'm in my late 30s. I'll be 40 soon, and that's slightly terrifying. Never understood why that has a different set of controls versus the other one. Nope, no. I'm impressed that your back can take that. I don't think I could possibly climb into that, to be honest with you. Let's... There we go. But yes, fighting game AI is definitely on the to-do list. And I have a couple of sort of... I don't know if they're bucket list items. There's a couple of bucket list items in terms of technical merit and kind of, I think, importance in the context of the industry that I would love to make videos about them. But I also have a handful of topics that I'd love to cover just because they're games that I personally loved as a kid. And so being able to make a video about it and explain how that works was very edifying for me. So like last year, we did Mario 64 and we did Doom. And those are two games that are very important to me personally. Two games that I played a lot of as a kid. Two games that I still play to some extent. Like the original Doom, I replay from start to finish every year. Once a year, usually in the summer, I'll just spend a couple of days and just play through the whole game on like ultra-violence. Speaking of ultra-violence, good day. Be well. What's that? Is that Demolition Man? That and the fucking seashells. Yes, Kevin, the robots in this game are creepy AF. Oh, no. Trying to remember. I've just seen a comment that I don't want to dignify with a response. However, Alan does point out using DN Spy, very good to decompile Unity games in C#. Wouldn't have finished Rainworld without it. Noted. Actually, I think I need to go and turn off the camera controls, don't I? That's one way to do this. If I... No, it's not this one. And that's not the button either. CDG as points out, GPT models are huge. You need guardrails to work effectively, and World AI has some interesting demos out. Indeed, it's one of those things you need to curtail it in order for it to actually work within the confines of games effectively. But yes, I just noticed uh-oh, did he catch on to what I was doing there? Yeah. I did notice a comment in there from a Jack Thompson. Question, is that your real voice or just the one you use for YouTube? You make up your own fucking mind, you wee shit. Also, say hello to Jack Thompson, my youngest brother. Who, like all my friends back in Scotland, loves to give me shit for my voice that I do when I'm here on YouTube. Because it's not my actual voice. And so the general consensus is actually, funnily enough, Jack's not a game developer. He's a gamer, plays games. He's often been on stream with me on occasion. But he'll be like, oh yeah, watched your new video. Ah, it was pretty good. You still sound like an idiot. But, you know. Oh, that was weird. But yes, hey Jack, I realise I haven't spoken to you in a couple of days. I hope you're good, buddy. Also, you're a wee shit, and I love you. Classic. There we go. What do you mean, maxed out? Where's the... I was going to say there's a vent here. Let's get down there. Happy Alien Day, Darth Calculus. Retro Rabbit says, I'm 49, I'll be 50 in September. Wife asked me if I'd freak out, probably because she did when she turned 40 and worse, so when she hit the half century. So I turned 40 this year, at the end of the year. And I don't think I'm going to have a freak out because I kind of had my midlife crisis already. Sadly, I say that as if I really want to do it again. But, there we go. There we go. That's it. You just don't look up. Liam in Wales, full Rab C Nesbit once the camera's off. Almost. I can't quite do it anymore. But, hey, she wanted to do the Rab C Nesbit, it kind of sounds a wee bit like this, you know? I don't think I could do a full video like that, though. I mean, I could, but then... Oh, shit. You wouldn't be able to understand a word of it. Right, what way are you going, mate? You're going that way. Bugger. Hiding behind a chair. Oh my god, is that actually working? New video! Coming soon! Working Joe Vision blocked by chairs. Shit. Right, off you fuck. Go on. Oh, no. B1 with the chair, says Solid. Hello, Solid Reactor. Good to see you. Yeah, so I had my midlife crisis when I turned 30. Partially because we lost my father a little bit earlier than we'd hoped. My dad died when he was just over 50, when I was in my late 20s, and also my grandfather on my father's side died in his 60s from health problems. So I had this kind of like moment of panic of like, I am the oldest surviving male member of my family, when I was like 29 going on 30. And so yeah, I had my full-blown I had my full-blown midlife crisis when I turned 30 as to like, what on earth am I going to do, and like, where's my life going? And it's funny because then even now, 10 years from now, it's like actually the where my life has went is quite different from what I expected.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's not safe here.
I need the string vest and the buckfast to pull it off. I don't have either, sadly. How did I know that? Somebody I met recently who I discovered actually quite likes drinking buckfast, and my opinion of them has gone down drastically.
It's a life form, an unknown type.
Chris Petronsky says, yeah, I play Paper Mario the 1000-Year Door at least every year. I have never played that one. I need to play it. I think is it on that's on the Nintendo Switch Online, isn't it? Kevin says, I was 22 when my dad died. He was 51. Right, so I was about 28, 29 when my dad died. So yeah, that had a big impact on my outlook on life, I think. And it hit me and my brothers really hard. And yeah. Uh-oh. Shit. Right, so first of all, save the game.
Shit.
Okay, I have a P166 MMX setup just for Doom. That's amazing. I totally missed that at first. Right, hang on. Get the rewire. Yeah. Where's the... Oh. Oh, crap. Oops. Too busy messing around. No, Nafs, if you could wave a magic wand to make any game you wanted, what would it be? Oof. I'm always terrible at these questions because I never have an answer prepped for them. You'd think by now I would. No, he's going the other way. Right, that's good. Let me mull on that for a second. No, never mind. Army of two. Oh, good grief. Right, so as we were just talking about, with my dad's passing and it being quite a traumatic experience. Like, I was back home with my brothers at the time. We're spending time together. We're hanging out, just trying to, like, you know, bond and or just kind of make sense of all the crap that had just went down. You know, as you would. You're grieving, right? And you know, we play games. We are fans of the video games. And we were just looking for something that could be played in a cooperative capacity. And I remember, so yeah, Jack and I played through the entirety of Army of Two. Which, for those of you who don't remember, is a game by Electronic Arts. It was hyped up quite a bit at the time it came out. It is not very good. But we still played through the whole thing, and we kind of like played along laughing at how bad it was. But we still enjoyed it, and we still had a great time. So despite the fact that it is not a great game, and despite the fact that I will be one of the first people to turn around and go, Army of Two does not merit your time, at the same time, I also have a weird fondness for Army of Two. Jesus. As a result. Okay. So the easiest way to do this is just run. Truth be told. I wonder if I can use my super chair again. Oh, squeeze in. He needs some milk. Hey man, glad to see you back making videos lately. Yeah, it was a bit of a quiet phase with GDC, but I'm happy to be back doing the thing. And also, hello to Chris. I'm going to try this Christos Georgia Fentis. Hope you're doing well. And you're over there. Good. Like I say, you can just run. But I'm adamant to try and do this somewhat appropriately. So yes, Jack and I played through a lot of Army of Two. I don't recommend anyone else do it. Even if one of your loved ones passes, I still don't recommend you doing it. But it was something that we did a lot of, and we had a modestly good time doing so. Where are they all through there? Oh, there's one over there. Oh, crap. No, I thought I'd got it. Get off me. Oh, for goodness sake, how come you're no dead yet? Close the damn door. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! That's the scariest thing I've seen out of Alien Isolation in years. Oh my god. I'm like, I'm safe. It's good. Oh my... Oh, AI in games, this is what we're here for. And it puked on my shoes. Do I have... Oh, no. I think we might make a couple of these. So yeah, just as Chris was saying, if I'd seen any speedruns of this where people learn how to like phase through doors and stuff, which I haven't seen, the AI then beats me to it and starts phasing through the damn doors. Clever girl. Right, I was gonna say pretty soon. Oh, I think it's when we get downstairs. So there's more Joes, but also the alien starts leaving traps, because this whole segment is largely alien free until you get towards the end. Hang on, I've just remembered the save points at the top of the stairs. Swear to God, that was actually slightly terrifying. I'm just la-di-da-di-da, and it just comes through the door like ah. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, this is one of these annoying ones because you gotta go this way and then I've got to distract him somehow. Oh no, I can go through that way. But yeah, notice how the alien is right there. I squeezed past. Excuse me, thank you. Actually. Oh crap. Shit. I thought I dodged a bullet there. That's the last vent. Alien can't get me now. I don't think. Oh dear. Kevin says, I always played this during nighttime for maximum immersion. Right, so funnily enough, we were talking earlier about me doing... Oh crap. Oh crap. Don't come out the vent. Don't come out the vent. Don't you dare. So I was saying earlier about how the channel, what I was doing and how I was going about it was changing shape early on. And one of the things I did do at one point was I was doing Let's Plays. And I did a Let's Play series of Alien Isolation, which was quite funny because I remember after the fact meeting a few developers. The same conference I saw the dev talk about how the AI works in Alien Isolation. I met a bunch of developers who'd worked on the game, and they said, oh, we actually watched your Let's Plays in the studio, and to them it was interesting how close I was to guessing how the alien worked. They thought that was quite fun. I originally started, it was originally going to be a series in which I played it with my friend Matt. Matt was my buddy, still is my buddy, but he and I made games together. We even shipped a game a while back, Sure Footing, when we were running our own little indie outfit, Table Flip Games, which we don't do that anymore. We're both off doing other things. Oh shit. Is this when it comes through the door or something? Oh, for fuck's sake! Gah! Alright, we went an hour and 40 before I died. Anyway. And so yeah, like I originally started filming the Let's Play with Matt. But Matt, we didn't even get to see in the alien. We played this together for 2 hours, and so Matt's a big scaredy cat, and he'll be the first to admit this. Matt, I love you, but you're a big scaredy cat. Big fierty. He's the sort of guy that played Dying Light and wouldn't go out at night. Which if you play Dying Light, you'll realise that not going out at night kind of defeats the purpose of the entire game. And so yeah, we played this for a few hours together, and he was so terrified of the whole thing, I had to go back and restart the Let's Play on my own. Anywho. But yes, I mean, we could just play it with the lights off. Just play it like this. I don't think it's not quite, it's a little bit more immersive, maybe? Yeah. Let's turn the lights back on. Maybe we could turn them down a little bit. I can hear the alien just moving around the vent while I'm messing around with my lights. Alright, where was I? Jack says I was just about to comment Matt can't go out at night in Dying Light. Yeah, he wouldn't go out at night because the whole point of Dying Light is you go out at night and you get double XP, but there's scarier monsters out there. The second one wasn't that scary at all, I don't think. I think the first one was much worse. But yeah, like, he refused to go playing the first 2 hours of Alien Isolation with it. We didn't, I think we barely got up to the point with Axel being killed, and he was gone. He was like, nope, 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 nope. I'm going to SciMed. There we go. Mr. Bubbles, thank you very much for your donation. Came across your channel after starting my own AI. It's a fantastically informative and inspiring resource. Smiley face. Thank you very much. Smiley face back. Solid reactor. People scared like that should play Resident Evil in VR for science, of course. I need to play Resident Evil 7 and 8 in VR. I'd like to try that. I played, I mean, I played the actual Quest 2 remake of Resident Evil 4, which was fantastic. I loved it. Because I was using a Quest a lot at the time because I was working on Espar 2, the VR shooter that came out last fall. Last holiday season. It's available now on the Quest 2. I consulted on that game for a bit, but yeah, I had a Quest 2. It's still in here somewhere. There's still boxes behind me. I've just moved house. I haven't unpacked yet fully. It's a work in progress. But yeah, that Resident Evil 4 remake is damn good. If you've got a Quest 2 or have a mechanism by which to play Quest 2 games, that is... Like, people are always talking about what's like the killer app for VR, and like, it's a little bit of a kind of, it's kind of a sad reflection of the state of the industry that right now the answer is still more often than not you go and play Beat Saber. What's up, you? How we doing, Chuckles? But yeah, the Resident Evil 4 VR is solid. I need a light from below, maybe. Hang on. So I guess maybe if we... Suppose what we could do is we turn that off and then move the microphone out of the way. That doesn't sound good. Welcome to AI in games. It's spooky as fuck, but you'll learn something. Anyway. Where was I? Also, my phone battery will run out before the end of the stream if I just do that the whole time. Anyway.
Stay with me.
You want to play so I just bought Phasmophobia. I really want to play some Phasmophobia. We might do some streaming over the weekend. My partner's away for the weekend, and so I might just maybe some Phasmophobia. I don't know. I was thinking about games to play at the weekend. I started playing. I was going to play some Meet Your Maker on stream. Because I started playing that and I really enjoy it. Fun enough, like right at the start of the stream, someone asked me about Dead by Daylight, which is a game that I really like. But Meet Your Maker is the latest game by the same studio, Behavior Interactive, and it's sort of you build, explore. Oh, I'm supposed to look for medical supplies so that Taylor doesn't die. Restore power. Right, fine. But yeah, that whole game is about trying to break into like opposing enemy bases to steal stuff, complete with traps and enemy AI in it, but then you can build your own bases full of traps and enemy AI in it. And I kind of thought that was a really interesting little concept of like being able to play with all these tools and put in like basic AI that can patrol and move around. It's got this kind of fun little level editor and stuff. And I thought that might be a one to do. But yeah, Phasmophobia, I really want to try that at some point. Oh, those are human beings.
I need a doctor. Hello? I need it.
I can't hear you. Hang on.
AI and scares, says Scup. Also, hey Scup, good to see you. Glad you're well.
Come on, open the elevator.
Oh no, we're going to the medical area. But yeah, I was going to say, because I'm doing an episode, actually the next episode of Design Dive is in development, and it's about particularly what I think is the most interesting thing about Resident Evil 7 and 8, which is fundamentally that they transpose the horror onto individual characters, and it allows them to do fun little things in the context of the design of that game that, from an AI perspective, isn't particularly intelligent, but from a design perspective is really fun and interesting. They transpose the horror of Resident Evil over into an entirely different format because they're able to lean into these individual characters. So we're kind of talking specifically about the Bakers in Resident Evil 7, and then the children of Miranda in Resident Evil 8. And specifically, I guess we're really talking about Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters in 8. But really it's the Bakers in 7, I think. But both of those things allow them to really transpose the horror in a way that Resident Evil has never typically done. And it made me think, because I was really what to me the most interesting, exciting thing about Resident Evil 7 and 8 is that they are first person. Not just from a technical perspective, but from a cultural perspective. Japanese developers don't make first person games. It's very rare. You'll notice how first person shooters are a predominantly Western concept. That the idea of embodying a character and then having the experiences lived through that character is not really something that Japanese games do a lot. More often than not, it's the opposite. They actually have... It's third person because there's a specific character that you are to embody and experience and be able to relate to that character. The idea of embodying another character in a game as yourself is not something that... Japanese studios typically do. And that's what I find is so interesting about Resident Evil 7 and 8 is that they kind of did this and by kind of looking also at like what was happening in contemporary Western horror games and then adapting that to their Resident Evil template.
You find the passcode for the service elevator and then I'll come down to the hospital with you, okay?
Passcode?
Have I played Gladiabot, says Alan. You build robot AIs using behavior trees. No, I have not. That's another game to write down. I'm just writing down stuff. Everyone keeps saying stuff and then I just have to write it down in my little notepad. But yeah, I think this was probably in conjunction with Meet Your Maker. I was quite enjoying Meet Your Maker as a concept because it's the entire game is predicated on user generated content. And then it's like, oh hey, also you've got all these little AIs you can put in it, and it's not particularly intelligent, but I just kind of like the way that they exposed it all. Right. Oh no, it's that one. Alright, clearly I need to be crafting because it's complaining now that I'm running out of... Actually, I'm going to need some of these for the next segment. Let's see, another ID tag. Another map. Cool. And then I think that's everything in here, right? Yep, okay. Right, save up. Christos, why is there scrap in an ice chest? I don't know. Environmental storytelling, my friend. Let's see. Mr. Bubbles says, on behavior trees, have you any thoughts at what stage in AI's complexity merits a state tree over a behavior tree over a state machine? I think there's not a clear-cut answer for it. I think it's really a case of looking at what you're trying to design and whether it makes sense for it to have a lot of conditional branches that would merit certain, like, you know, if behavior trees are very good if you have a lot of sequences of actions you want to do together, but also lots of specific conditions you want to be able to satisfy, whereas I think state machines, the logic tends to be a bit more abstract. And so I think it's one of those things you'll reach a tripping point where the state machine's becoming inherently complex. That said, it is worth noting, and I've been meaning to do an AI 101 on this, in that a lot of games merge the two. You tend to have, they'll do the high level as a state machine, and then how the state works for that state machine is a behavior tree. And then they'll do transitions between states or something using like a utility AI or something like that. Like it's very common for people to mix these two, all these different systems together. Well, that's not what I'm looking for.
Have you found the passcode? Look, we'll need the physical keycard too. Morley always kept it on him. Find him.
1702.
Warning. Medical facility quarantine breach detected. Warning.
Quarantine breach?
I'm just trying to find out what that is. You focus on finding that keycard.
Shit.
If I remember right, is this when we then need to go? Yeah, we need to get to the door. Guess who's coming to dinner? What's up? You're not going to glitch under the table and kill me, are you? Oh, Solid Reactor makes a good point with regards to the different approaches. Yeah, Bobby Angelov's YouTube streams, he was doing a bunch of stuff a while ago that I happened to catch, and it was pretty good. I would recommend it. Right. Please tell me you're not going all the way around. You are. Nope, you're not. Make up your bloody mind. I see you. That's it, you keep going that way. Oh yeah, on one hand I want to use the thing. On the other hand, the save thing is over there. Shit. I know there's hostiles nearby. Oh, thanks, Daddy. Daddy just says, don't die. That's wonderful advice, Dad. Oh, son of a... It's fine, I'm hiding behind a chair. The invincible chair. It can't see me behind the chair. I swear to God, we can make an entire video now just about me hiding behind chairs. Shit! Thanks, Daddy. That didn't sound right. Oh my God, that actually worked. Oh no. No, no. Damn it. What was the passcode? I've forgotten it. I am very proud of my chair game right now. What was the passcode? Eh. 1702. Oh God, if I have recorded so much footage underneath this table over the years. Oh, bugger. Oh no, he's in the vent. Solid, maybe have Bobby as one of the guests on Branching Factor. Perhaps. We're in the middle of trying to put together the guest list, funnily enough, for future episodes. Oh shit. Oh, you're going that way. I'm going this way. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. It's gonna be right behind me. I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure he's in this room. Yep, look at that thing. Like a dart. Indeed yours wist, the chair clutch. That was, I'm quite proud of that in hindsight. But yeah. I was gonna say, I know you're over here. I still remember playing this, I think, one of the first times. I got caught with the... It caught me out in a locker in that room over there. And I remember that being one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Oh, bugger. It's moving. Save room's here. Shit. Take the gamble. All right. Safe. Yes. Come and get me, you big alien poo face. I say that now, I'm super tough when it's not here. Oh, big tough man. Actually, is there any... I'm just going to hide under here. And then, is there anything I can... I cannot make anything right now. Oh, that's not a good sign. That can't be, that's inside the room. You're not reading it right. Shit. What's up, sweet cheeks? Doesn't the motion tracker track it, says Pedro? I thought the beeping sounds alerted it. It can't, so the motion tracker is audible, but it is within a very, very small range around the player. It's only, I think it's somewhere in the region of 2 meters, 2.5 meters. So, right now, fine. I can use the motion tracker as much as I want. It's coming towards me though. If for example, the alien was right in front of me right now, and I used the motion tracker, it would hear it. Well, there's a very good chance it would hear it. Readme.text. I'm assuming someone read you. Hello. Hello. Nice to see a stream from the game with the best AI ever. Is it? I mean, that's open to you to debate. I have never stated one way or another whether it is the best AI ever. I think it is certainly the game whose AI has had a more profound impact. I talk about this in the episode 50 video about how I think this game captured the AI in this game captured the imagination of players in a way that I don't think any other game in ever has, frankly. I think the closest equivalent, like even things like the Shadow of Mordor and stuff like that, I think was a fun novelty the first time you see it, but I don't think it
1702, okay? Now let's get down to the dispensary.
1702 for fuck's sake! Rocket! But yeah, I think particularly, sometimes a lot of other games, even with great AI in them, I think people don't really think about the AI as being what makes it work. Like, the 2016 reboot of Doom, I think is a really great example in which the AI is not incredibly intelligent, but it services the design of that game exceptionally well.
I'll collect my things and we can leave.
Alright, he's very shitty about this. Deserves what's coming to him. Aye, alright. Give me a dirty look. Yeah. Da 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 da. Another opinionated wanky man is dead. Uh-oh. But yes, I think technical merits is one thing, and I think this is one of the things I really enjoy about the work that I do on YouTube. Is actually it's quite often it's not about the technical merit of the AI. It's about how well it fits the design of the game and how well it fits the intent of the game. I think, and in many regards, I think the Xenomorph knocks that out the park. Pedro says, I didn't know that about the motion tracker. I've been playing this almost exclusively without the tracker for 8 years. Oh, buddy. I'm hoping you're going to enjoy your new tracker-filled life. Oh, another icebox full of injectors and sensors. Oh, you're coming out, aren't you? Stop moving. Make up your mind. Oh, bollocks. Right, well. I have never found the stun baton to be useful in this game. Maybe I'm using it wrong. Did it work? I don't think it worked. I think the odds of Man in Room 5 says, like, what about a sequel? I think the odds of a sequel are incredibly slim at this point. Like, the studio largely moved on from it. And, of course, it's... Oh, shit. It's worth acknowledging, of course... Oh, you know I'm here. It's worth acknowledging this game was a flop, technically. It did not do well. It was, by Sega's admission, not successful. Oh, you saw me that time. Ow. Solid Reactor says, I'd love to have this kind of alien game in co-op. I think so. I think something like this in co-op would be... I think there's a significant increase in difficulty. Where... once you've got two people in, trying to have the characters balance between dealing with two different players in the same space in a way that, and I think critically, in a way that doesn't allow for the players to abuse the alien, because someone mentioned dinosaurs. That I think that's what makes it so inherently difficult. Right, hang on. Why does everything I like fade? I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I was a huge fan of You know, I'm a Titanfall fan, and I'm not allowed to have more Titanfall because EA botched it. Right, there was... Oh, there we go. They engage in the coolant. That's what I didn't do. It's freezing in here. Don't you dare come out that vent right now. I am busy. Trying to solve a puzzle here. I like that I've been hanging around Alien Isolation for so long now that I'm just getting shouty at the alien. Perfect room for the beers. You're absolutely right.
Samuels, there's a Dr. Lingard, senior medical officer. Should be able to find out where they're keeping everything in her office.
Good luck, Ripley. Hurry if you can.
Okay. Run over. Save the game. Maybe a game playing a survivor in Hadley's Hope. That's an interesting way to get around it. Ah, bugger. You heard me. Do you mind? I'm trying to play a game on stream here. Is it funny that the scariest thing that's happened this stream is the working Joe coming through the door? Kind of a reflection of where I'm at with this game these days. Nafnaf's got to turn in for the night. I'll try not to get eaten. Take care of yourself. I'll catch you around. But yeah, yes, I think having it as a multiple alien resolves the situation of like allowing two players to like grief the xenomorph a little bit. Pedro Rodriguez says, I would love some reuse of this engine with a Jurassic Park license in an abandoned facility, velociraptors, etc. So funnily enough, I've been consulting on occasion for a dinosaur survival horror game which is in development right now called Death Ground, which is pretty much exactly what you're looking for. It is in... I have no idea as to the stage of production right now. I did a lot of work on that game in pre-production, and it's been in production for a while now. I'm not needed, as it were, at this point in the project, so I haven't... Oh shit, there it is. No good into it then. Right, and now it's going to come back because... Ah, okay, that's the scariest thing that's happened. You're nearby, aren't you? Oh. Oh, fuck. Alright then. Fine. On you go. Take you and your tail with you. Bastard. So yeah, oh, hello. I'm trying to talk to the audience right now about Death Ground. This is really not the time for this. Oh god, I'll just sit here now. Not now. Actually, I've just realised I went the wrong way. Oh no, you go to the office for information, then you have to go round. Because that corridor's going to cause an explosion if I go down it. Ah, he's gone. It's gone.
This is Lingard, Senior Medical Officer to
So yeah, I need to check in with the Death Ground people and see how they're doing. They've been working very hard. And the last I played of it, I played a build, an internal alpha build about, I want to say 6-7 months ago. We had raptors, we had different dinosaurs, we had lots of different dinosaurs in there. They each just were built to play in different ways. Raptors were closer to the alien, and then you had like a T-Rex and all this other stuff, and can't get into specifics, I'm not allowed to say much, but it was going through a bit of a... They'd built the game up to a certain point, and then they were reiterating and doing a lot more technical design on it, so I'm very excited to see where it is a little bit further down the line. But yeah, at the moment I can't really speak to the state of the game, because I haven't been involved in that project now for about 6 or 7 months. Not because, I think critically, it's not like, oh, they're dead to me, I'm not going to work with them. It's just, they don't need me right now. They might need me later. And if they need me later, then I'll be back. So, yeah. Looking forward, hopefully, to getting back to doing some more work with them. In a little while. Oh, bugger. Right, hang on, I've got a thought. Save point is over here, isn't it? Yep. Haha! Ket Live says, hey, I'm a game dev student doing an AI scripting module right now, and I love your channel. Was recommended by our lecturers. Whereabouts is she studying? Be interesting to know. Ooh, I got the Molotov script. The Molotov thing. I really want this tacky looking statue thing. Uh-oh. I have nowhere to hide. Don't look through the window. That might be a bit too late. I know. Whew. Ironclad X21 says it failed because of the clusterfuck Aliens Colonial Marines gearbox released. If that game didn't exist, Alien Isolation probably would have been a hit. I do think... Oh, and Stoke-on-Trent. So you're over at Staffordshire Uni. Fun fact, I used to be a lecturer at Derby Uni, just up the road. Many, many moons ago. In fact, when I started making videos for this channel, I was the course leader for games programming at Derby University. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's cute. That's a reference, by the way. I don't know why I'm saving it again, but whatever. Oh shit. It's up there, isn't it? It's over in the staff galley, I think. Oi. What time's it? Oh, it's 10. Right, we'll do another half an hour or so and then we'll... Or is it over there? Pretty sure that's a dead end. And that's also going to trigger the... Yeah, it is. That's an explosion. We don't go that way. Better safe than... Solid reactor, you're going to be in trouble. We'll have to bar you soon. For bad jokes. And I say this coming from somebody who's the king of dad jokes in my 30s. You left your flip-flops. Oh no, don't catch me in the shower. This is very Alien 3. Oh, it's over here, isn't it? Or am I imagining things? Where's the nearest vent? Oh no. Where is the key card? Yes, the other issue might have been Alien. I think there is still a desire for the Alien brand. I think it's just, on one hand, yes, I think there is a, you know, Aliens Colonial Marines didn't help, but at the same time, I think it's also worth pointing out that Alien Isolation is a tough sell. It's a horror game, and people also acknowledge that the Alien is a pretty scary horror game. The Alien is pretty scary in general, and then Alien Isolation was a pretty scary game, and they really leaned into that with the marketing. It's like, this game is scary, you are going to be freaked out by it, etc, etc. And so I think that's going to inherently limit your audience to some extent. Don't say dad jokes, says the one who just called the Xenomorph Daddy. No, I was referring to the person in the chat as Daddy, because his username is literally Daddy. I'm not weird, you're weird. What am I missing? What am I missing? Yeah, still need a key card. I haven't found it. Don't run too much, the alien will hear me. What am I missing? I was going to say, it hasn't come out the vent in a while. Which means it's going to come out the vent pretty damn soon. Passcode. Oh, have I just not read this thing and it's got the passcode in it or something? $2505. I'm an idiot. Gimme.
Samuels, I'm on my way.
Alright. Doing great. Doing great. Here we go. Don't run. Benji asks what difficulty mode. I'm just on regular. Just regular old difficulty. I haven't played this game in a very long time, and so I did not remember how to play it. So I figured I'll just take it easy. Right, there's people in here, isn't there? So let's... Oh no, I don't have enough for a pipe bomb. Do I have enough for a Molotov? I do. Yeah, I'm gonna let all this lot kill each other. Right. Here's what to do. Trying to lure the... Okay, so the alien's checking out the noisemaker. There we go. That's what I wanted. Oh shit! That's not what I wanted! That's annoying. Smoking Flower says, lore-wise, what senses does the Xenomorph have? Hearing only. I think even in the lore it has vision of some sort. It has some sort of visual sense, I'm sure. It's never been, I'm pretty sure in any of the films or even in any of the like extended universe books and comics and stuff, I don't think they've ever stated that it's blind. Izzy, have you seen the Endworld demo? People using ML for the responses and text-to-speech for NPCs. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, actually. Right. Let's try this again. Solid Reactor says about the creative assembly studio for this game. What games have they done after this? Do you know if most of the core people from AI are still there? No, so we were talking about this at the start of the stream, that this was the not so, to refer to it as the B team is disingenuous, but the B studio, the second studio that they put together. Oh, he's killing everybody. Oh crap. He's getting chased by it. I think I'll stay out the way. And yeah, so the team that made this was built specifically for this. It was, I think it was referred to as the console team at the time, because it was built with this very particular project in mind. And it wasn't, and critically, it's not the Total War team. So this team was built as a separate unit from the Total War team at Creative Assembly. And even then, there are now multiple Total War teams, I believe. At the time, I think there was only one. Oh, crap.
Visitors are asked to refrain from smoking.
So he's over there. He's over there. Ah! Why are you not freaking out more, buddy? Jeez, you can still hear the alien moving around quite a bit. Oh, it's coming. On you go. I was going to say, that's a dead end. I need to go through the room in the middle. That's going to make it backtrack if I'm not careful. Yeah, so the team that made this, a lot of them broke up and left afterwards. But the remnants of this team went on to become the team that made Halo Wars 2. Although it's critical to say, and I say that on a technical level, I believe B Team made Halo Wars 2. But it's important to kind of acknowledge that a lot of people who worked on Alien Isolation left after it shipped, and a lot of staff came into Creative Assembly for Halo Wars 2 that actually they had people come in from 343 Industries. Because it was Halo. And so they're like, yo, get to make an RTS game in Halo. Great. Crap, crap, crap. This is where I need to be in a bit, but not where I need to be now. Do I plan on doing a video about the in-world demo? No, but probably the topics surrounding the use of LLMs for games and ChatGPT as a tool in the games industry is probably going to be a topic that does appear in a video soon. I think we're literally going to be talking about this at the production meeting tomorrow. Or Friday, I'm not sure what day it is. Those who are on the producer tier on Patreon, we have a monthly production team meeting where I meet with the producers and executive producer tiered. Also, I think you can also subscribe as a producer on the YouTube memberships. If you're on producer or executive producer tier, we have a monthly meeting where I discuss what I want to be doing, what my kind of 3 to 6 month plan is of the channel, and also I take on ideas from the production team. And in fact, we've got an AI 101 episode that I'm going to be working on soon that is based on an idea that came from the production team, which will tie into also probably AI in Games episode 72, which will probably release in a month or so. This month, right now our priority is getting, this month is doing, the 2 new series are going to come out this month. So the History of AI the first episode of History of AI should launch in a couple of weeks, and then the first episode of Artifacts will hopefully come out at the end of May.
Turner, we've had something go down here in San Cristobal.
What do you think of the upcoming Aliens Dark Descent game? I have not looked at it, but at the same time, I am quite intrigued. I am excited. I also saw recently there's an Alien, no, it's not Alien. There's I only discovered this when I was at WASD a couple of weeks ago. There's like a Starship Troopers. There's a Starship Troopers RTS game. And I can't wait to try that. I'm going to wait until it's discounted on Steam, probably, and give it a crack. Right, where am I going?
We heard gunshots, and if we heard them, so did the creature.
Oh yeah, plant room. But yeah, I'm intrigued for the Dark Descent game. I wanna. Oh God, Tommy. You know fine well it hides in the vents in here.
Ripley, your way out through the medical reception is locked down.
But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I haven't actually seen anything of it yet. I do like a good tactics game. So I just finished playing Mario and Rabbids 2. I finished playing Mario Rabbids 2 when I was at GDC. Actually, I finished it in my hotel room one morning. And then I am in the middle of playing Marvel's Midnight Suns, which takes a bit of getting used to, but it is surprisingly good. Once you get into it, I think Midnight Suns is actually fantastic. It's just so weird, because it's basically Fire Emblem's Three Houses meets XCOM with card games, card mechanics in it. Scup says there's a Starship Troopers FBS coming as well. Ah, okay. Right, isn't this gonna... There we go. See, I told you. Uh-oh. I should be... Ah, bugger.
Ripley, are you
So this is not going to end well now. Because if I try and initiate a gunfight with this guy, the Xeno's in the vents. It'll hear it and come down. Actually, I don't think the Xeno ever actually comes out here. Because critically, it's waiting for the next segment, which is the cutscene bit. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe not on this difficulty anyway. Maybe I'm alright. Right. Let's try and... Yeah, you're right there, you son of a... Oompa loompa gobbledygoo. What the fuck am I going to do? This man has a PhD.
If my services do not meet Simpson standards, please log a complaint.
Where are you? I can hear you. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I need to initiate the evacuation procedure. But he's in the way of the computer terminal. Time, Tommy, come on. There we go.
You're clear, Ripley. Hurry.
I can do it. Huzzah! Okay, gotta run. Avoid the vents. I was gonna say, the alien typically only turns up now at the end, right? When you get to the end of the corridor. Of course, this is the time to prove me wrong, Xeno. There we go. Whew. Oofed. Do you think we'll ever get a Terminator survival horror game or a remake of that Thing game? I never played the Thing game. I always wanted to play that. You know what? Coming back to the question that I got asked earlier, if I had the opportunity to make whatever game I want, what would it be? A Terminator survival horror. You have answered my question for me. I would love to take the Terminator concept and apply it. I think there's something, like, if you go back to I think the films have kind of lost their way a little bit. Said as a tried and true Terminator fan. But one of the things I think is very powerful and very emotionally raw and terrifying about the Terminator is, if you go back to that very first movie, it's the Terminator is systematically... I just locked myself in a room. The Terminator systematically hunts down Sarah Connor in Los Angeles. It doesn't know straight away where she is, and it just has the city and it has her name, and it works backwards from there to find her. And I kind of like the idea of being in an open world or in a game of a similar magnitude, in which the whole onus of it is you are being hunted by this thing, and how do you get out? How do you blend in? How do you avoid its detection? What different ways can it try to find you down the line? I think there's something really interesting about that concept. I think it's also an incredibly difficult idea to design. But look, this reminds me, I've been meaning to play the Terminator first-person shooter that came out a couple of years ago. I have it on PS5, and I haven't played it yet, as is often the case. I buy a lot of games and then take forever to play them. But like a lot of these games seldom capitalize on the fact that the Terminator is meant to be this terrifying hunter-killer machine. And so I'd love to see a game that really capitalizes on that. If you hide behind a chair, the T800 can't find you. No, it would find you. But I wonder, in the same way with Alien Isolation, like, is there an appetite for a Terminator game like that? Is the IP strong enough anymore to carry that sort of thing? Like, there's so many IPs out there that, you know, I think Alien Isolation is an example of an IP that, yes, it's a strong IP, but it's not that strong anymore. Same with Predator. And the problem is, I think we kind of intimated as well, like, oh yeah, Alien Isolation was hurt by colonial marines. Fair enough, that's one argument to make. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but possibly. However, somebody said, oh yeah, Alien Covenant. It's like, that's, I think, the bigger argument. That every time they make another one of these movies, they just water the franchises down. Because they get progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. I don't know if anybody saw that last Predator film. It was god-awful. It was absolutely terrible. I think it was The Predator it was called. Oh, actually, that's not the last one, because they made Prey afterwards, which is the one where it takes place back in like the 1700s or something, and it's a Comanche woman fighting a predator. That was great. Loved that movie. That was like the best thing they've done probably since the original, let's be honest. Predator 2 is... I mean, I love Predator 2. Danny Glover is just eating up the scenery, but it's not that great a movie. And Predators, which I also quite like, is still not high art. Like, the original Predator is great, despite its genre trappings. But yeah, I think like a lot of these franchises, you struggle because I just don't see if there's... Is there much of an appetite in the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas for a Terminator video game? I mean, maybe I'm talking nonsense, and I'd be very happy about that, to be honest. But I haven't actually seen the last two Terminator films. I've heard Dark Fate was okay, but I haven't seen it.
Just killed him, and now they're dead too. So just calm down.
Okay. I heard Terminator Genesis was abysmal. But yeah, I haven't seen Dark Fate, which I've heard was okay. But yeah, it makes me wonder whether there is still appetite for these sorts of things anymore.
Mahoney, thank God. We got jumped. Looters.
We saw it on the security feed. Can you get up here?
We're trapped. Elevator's out.
Join my systems and synthetic storage. There's all kinds of stuff to fix.
We don't know where.
Oh, this was maybe...
Is he insane? Peterson wants to know if you're fucking insane. Those things have started attacking.
Peterson wants to know if you're fucking insane. Gabagoo.
Okay, Francis out. Asshole.
Should be fine. Well, I'm sure as hell not making new best friends with one of those things.
Listen up for movement. Could be anywhere.
If you want to remake a horror movie for today's teens, you make the Ring film, but instead of sharing a VCR, you have to share TikTok. I'm sure somebody's done that already. Or like something equivalent to it, where it's like a social media post or something, which then results in people dying. I'm pretty sure someone made that film. I'm not even joking. Pretty sure that's a thing. Because yeah, I love how horrifically dated The Ring now is now, because it's like, oh yeah, so it was a VCR. A what? Please tell me you're not up here. Yeah, there was one on Netflix. Okay. There we go. Kevin has confirmed TikTok horror films already exist. There's a few. That also doesn't surprise me. I've got all these. I've got all this stuff, but not the things I need to build anything. Oh, I can make a Molotov. All right.
Don't look at me like that. Guy had it coming.
Yes, Scott makes a very good point. We still use a diskette as a save icon. And it's funny because I remember even at the closing days of my university teachings, I was meeting students who didn't understand what that meant. Like, why is that? Why does that look like that? Which I did think was quite funny. It's like, oh, it represents a disk. Why would you do that?
Mine has an executive suite and $8,000 suits. Bottom line is, I gotta look after the money, buddy. I know we're hungry. I hired you because you were the cheapest, not the best.
Smoke boom.
Bring these costs down, huh?
An exploding boom. Richard Greenwood, the worst thing about Ring was knowing you were going to die but remembering to rewind the VCR. But, like, older VCR players used to, they used to rewind the tape when it hit the end. Right, where am I supposed to be? I did everything here, right?
Hey, what was that?
Nope, nope, nope. Don't mind me just passing through. This game still looks great.
Smythe, have you been practicing the script for the VIPs visiting today? We need to impress. Noise from upstairs says they're the last potential bidders for Sevastopol's Work and Joe rollout. If they go with Weyland-Yutani cast-offs instead, the jobs Seegson have allocated for us back on Earth are on the line. Don't screw up. Spreading out.
Gotta restore the power. Alright, how much longer? We'll go for a... Actually, I'm probably going to wrap it up in about 15 minutes. Because it's getting a little late. Ooh, security activation tuner. Oh, come on! How many times tonight has the alien killed me? Because I'm in the middle of just doing something benign and then it just... Actually, twice it's killed me right after a save. Level 2 access available. Oh god, there it is. Yep, if you want to go that way, that's fucking grand. No, the other way. Doing my Oompa Loompa dance again. Still need to power this on, don't I? Alright, I think we're going up. Ooh. Oopsie. There we go, heal up. Oh, I should have saved, because knowing my luck, the alien's going to come out and kill me now. I can hear it moving around in my left ear. Oh, I thought that was the alien there, that noise. I was just like, no! Is there a... Oh. Can you use the access tuner on this? Nice. Alright. We got about 10 minutes left. Any other burning questions? Now is the time. Yep.
Smythe, it's Spedding. You knew full well that these guys were the last bidders for Sevastopol's Apollo system, and you totally fucked the annual presentation. They're not interested. So no bonus from me. You'll have
Keep wondering if I can find like an environmental override somewhere. That would be useful.
That's got me pissed. But you know what's getting me even more pissed? I have to stay on Sevastopol to oversee the synthetic shutdown while you go home. Don't have nightmares on the trip back, jackass.
Now play nice.
Ironclad asks, what are the odds we'll get a remake of the Legacy of Kain series? Or a sequel to Loc Defiance? Was it online poll last year? The Legacy. I think you're going to see a Legacy of Kain in the next couple of years.
Just keep the noise down, okay?
I was going to say, is who owns the Legacy of Kain now? Is it like the Embracer Group or something like that that has the license, that has the IP? Because it sounds like this. That sounds like who would probably have it at this point. Right, hang on. I'm gonna. As a precaution. If in doubt, save. It is Embracer. Okay, cool. Let me just double check something on this screen over here. Cool. Yeah, Embracer seems to be the place that seems to own all these IPs now, and it's like, oh, if anyone's going to bring it back, it's probably going to be them. They were buying up so many IPs at one point. Crazy. Where did he go? I'm assuming it went through here somewhere. Kevin Oldman says, I want Deus Ex to continue. Deus Ex is also overdue a revival of sorts. I would agree with that assessment.
Shit! Did you hear that? Someone over there!
Oh, crap. Ah! Dead. So disappointed they made that Avengers game that flopped instead of Deus Ex. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'd be a bit more smooth about this. Did you get to mission 7 in just under 3 hours? That is a blistering pace. Yeah, I guess so. This is mission 7, isn't it? I can't remember, yeah. I think just... I wouldn't even say it's skills, it's just... I'm happy to move at a fairly fast pace because I kind of know my way... I don't even know my way around, but actually... I do seem to know more of this game than I thought I did. In hindsight. Daniel says... Oh, the last question. Oh, very good, Solid Reactors. The last question, where can we find you? And if we want, how can we support this channel? You can find me on all the social medias. On Mastodon, and the Game Dev Mastodon. You can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on TikTok as AI in Games. You can, of course, subscribe to this channel for all the main stuff. For all this, if you haven't already, go and check out AI in Games Plus. I'm doing a lot of fun stuff over there. Weird and wonderful videos. We're doing the podcast. We're doing lots of, I think, and we've got more weird and wonderful stuff coming up over there. I'm also very much open to feedback and ideas for what we can be doing over on AI in Games Plus as well. So if you do have thoughts on that, I would be open to hearing them. You can, of course, if you're enjoying the Branching Factor podcast, you don't just have to listen to it on AI in Games Plus. You can also listen to it on any podcast provider. We're on Google Podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're on all of them. If you want to support, and if you can support, there's now three main ways that you can support AI in Games. First and foremost, of course, is Patreon, because that's where the bulk of my supporters hang out. And with that, you get the monthly newsletter, you get the option to do the production meetings, you get exclusive merch. We're going to be updating the exclusive merch for that shortly. Early access to all the new content. You can also get some of these same features by being a YouTube member, by clicking the join thing under the video. And now, as well, because we moved all the written versions of AI in Games episodes over to Substack, you can now be a premium subscriber on Substack as well. So just look up AI in Games on Substack. And so, yeah, lots of different ways you can support. And truth be told, every bit of support we get is a massive boost to me because it allows me to focus on making the videos rather than doing other things. Uh-oh, I'm about to get shot and killed. But I'm pretty sure they don't know how to... I'm pretty sure they don't know how to... Oh, there we go. Where do you get to that? It's up there. Maybe there's a vent I'm missing. But yeah, you can now support the channel in all these different ways. And if you do support the channel in any of these different ways, it is a huge boost to me because essentially the more successful AI in Games is, and of course just watching the videos is a huge help as well, sharing them around, making everyone know where you like this stuff. Uh-oh, I'm about to die again. The more of this that gets out there, the more it gives me time and opportunity to focus on the videos, because the more successful the YouTube channel is, then ultimately it gives me more time because it's more monetarily successful. It gives me more time to make the videos. So yeah, if you can, hugely appreciate if you could take the time to have a look at it and possibly support the channel. All the links are on the channel description. Also critically, if you actually work at a studio, or if you're an indie developer and you're ever looking for some support, I do consultancy work as well. That's also available. You can see all the links in the channel about page. You can go and find it all there. But yes, thank you for pointing that out, Solid Reactor. I'm very bad at plugging myself. But yes, if you want to be able to support the channel, those are the ways you can do it. But the simplest and easiest way to do it is to watch videos, tell other people to watch videos, and make some noise about it on your respective social media channels. That's always a huge, huge plus. So we hit 10 million. The goal is to try and get to more. I don't have a goal. I don't have a goal. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous at this point to have a goal, because I never set out to get 10 million views to begin with. So, hey, what's another 10 million at this point? If we can get there, that would be amazing. If we don't, we don't. Let's see. Last questions before we get to them, or last comments before we get to them, before we wind up. Yeah, Dan said, over the course of 3 playthroughs, I've never seen the alien in this particular section. Has anyone else ever had sections that the alien consistently doesn't appear in? I found, yeah, like, sometimes, like, Seegson Communications is a place that it's not supposed to really turn up in, but it tends to leave traps for you, although I have actually had it pop out. I found that depending on how noisy you are, and also I think probably, I can't speak to this because I've never played the game that extensively, but I suspect the difficulty also influences how pervasive the alien is in particular areas. Kevin says, we're aiming for precisely 1 hajillion subscribers. Let's get there. Actually, the goal is to get to 200,000 right now. We're at 180 something thousand. Let's get to 200k. That'd be great. Because if we can get to 200k in the next year or so, that's a significantly less time than it took us to get to the first 100k. Not quite on the climb yet. We're not going to be doing, you know, we're not going to be doing bang numbers that we're going to be hitting 500,000 or 1 million. I don't think that's ever going to happen for this channel. But I am grateful for the audience that I do have. And why have I got 2 separate chat views right now in this area? This is very weird. Okay, it's duplicated itself. I don't know why. Is the alert box? No, is the alert box? No, it's not. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, there we go. Sorted. But yeah, again, thank you to all of you, because at the end of the day, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have got... Somebody needs to watch the stuff, right? And I'm incredibly indebted to all of you out there, whether you've watched one video, whether you've watched all of them, whether you've watched one of them 10 times, or you've consistently turned up and just poured over every single thing that I make. Like, I'm incredibly grateful to all of you out there for giving a shit and sticking around critically as well. So, as we said earlier, like, how my life has changed quite drastically on account of what this YouTube channel has done. And so to be able to be here today, and we're here 9 years after I started, and we're having a wee celebratory evening playing a bit of Alien Isolation, like, I couldn't have imagined that. And I think, well, next year this channel's going to be 10 years old, and Alien Isolation is going to be 10 years old. So I'm going to have to start thinking about doing some special content in or around that. I already have one thing lined up or planned, which requires me to reach out to someone to see if they're willing to collaborate on it for the 100,000 for the 10-year episode. But we might do another one as well. Solid Reactor says, hopefully one day we might go into see an AI in games class on Udemy and similar sites. Yeah, there you go. You're doing it again. Who knows? The answer to that is unresolved at present. I would like to do it, but it needs to be done in a way that is, well, frankly, I am just not in the mood I am not in the mood to do a whole bunch of work for no money and wait for YouTube. This company's recently pitching me, a lot of these AI startups recently pitching me, like going, oh yeah, like come and make videos about our stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then they go, and then I go, well, here's my rates. And then they go, oh, well, but like, you know, we can get in on the ground floor and then you can monetize it on YouTube. I'm like, mate, no, Jesus. My 2 Alien videos have got nearly 2.5 million views across them. That doesn't even equate to $2,500, if I remember right. Like, they haven't made that much. Actually, no, that's not true. I think actually now between those 2 of them, I've maybe made about $3,000 in advertising revenue for 2.5 million views. Over 10 years? Over 9 years? You know? Anyway. Face Forward says, congratulations, well deserved. Your expertise has been invaluable when learning game development. Thank you and cheers. Well, cheers to yourself, Face Forward. I hope that your career and whatever you have planned is going well for you. But yes, there is a momentum to getting towards teaching this again in a different capacity. But like I say, it has to be done in a way that is sustainable. And I think we'll get there one day. I'll get paid with exposure. Away in jumps, solid reactor. Away in jump. I know you mean it as a joke. Good. But yes, here we go. On the way to 1 bajillion subscribers. Thank you again, once again to everyone who's tuned in tonight. I hope you've all had a good time. I think what we might do is we might actually start moving the streams over to YouTube, because I think versus we get more of an audience here versus doing it on Twitch, to be honest. And as much as I'm worried about how generally the subscribers react to it, hopefully you're enjoying it and you're finding it interesting. Maybe we do it over an AI in Games Plus. So yeah, I was going to say, can I actually refer to my other channel in the chat? I can. It's funny, it just came up like that. But that's it. You just have to search for AI in Games Plus if you haven't already subscribed. Please go and do that. But yes, thank you once again, everyone. It's been great. I've enjoyed hanging out with you tonight. I know you're going to occasionally remind me, Solid Reactor. I know you're going to occasionally remind me, and I'm going to occasionally be snippy about it back. But yes, thank you once again to all of you. We'll have another video out to you pretty soon. We'll have a couple of videos out to you pretty soon. We're going to have more stuff over in AI in Games Plus in the coming weeks as well. More of the Player Choice live streams. The Branching Factor podcast will be back again next month in May. And yeah, here's to the next 10 million. All right. Cool. Have a good afternoon, morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Y'all take care of yourselves. And at risk of waiting to get Arnold Schwarzenegger to come and clamp down on me and my violation of his trademark or his catchphrase, I'll be back. And then I need to remember to mute the microphone.